Performance targets and indicators measure performance and allow us to recognize the achievement of objectives. An indicator outlines what will be measured, while the target specifies quantity and time, how much and when. Listed in the second column of the DMF, they specify precisely each result at the output, outcome, and at the impact levels. These levels have at least one measurable indicator with an explicit target. No point in having a planned result if its attainment will not or cannot be measured. Indicators should have a baseline. Baseline can come from diagnostic studies of the problem and describe the status of that indicator at the time of project design. Target values and baseline should be gender disaggregated, particularly those measuring capacity building or social sector outputs. The process of setting performance targets and indicators must involve the stakeholders. In fact, it is essential that they select, formulate the indicators, and set the targets. Reaching an agreement on the targets among those who design, those who will implement, and those who are to benefit increases transparency and ownership. A target is an explicit statement of desired results for an indicator at a specified point in time. A target must be appropriate to the situation and should be attainable and desirable by the stakeholders. Moreover, objectively verifiable performance targets or indicators enable project supporters and opponents to agree on what the evidence implies. Perceptions and attitudes of the EA toward the intended project results are critical for achieving them. If the impact and outcome are perceived to be merely those of ADB, or any funder for that matter, then ownership and hence motivation and accountability by the DMC will be limited, with predictable results. It is particularly important for projects to be subjected to inspection. To specify the indicators and change targets, ask: how do we know that the intended positive change has taken place? What is the baseline situation? Who and what changes? In what way? Quantity, quality, time description of targets. Do the stakeholders all agree that this is the change they want to happen and to sustain? Relevant, appropriate indicator. All indicators are measurable and expressible in numeric terms of quality, timeliness, access, cost, price, customer satisfaction. Quality. Complete and in accordance with specification. No faults, errors, omissions. Examples of quality indicators are: percent of scheduled trains that actually ran, number of hours electricity is off supply, percent of all legislations loaded into the public databases, and so on. Timeliness. Service transactions that meet the schedule or standard time for the service. Difference between actual and standard times. Timeliness includes the time for the customer to receive, use, fully delivered and elapsed time from one point to another point, in hours, days. Examples of timeliness indicators are: percentage of trains arriving within more or less minutes of their scheduled time, time taken to lodge a customer complaint, waiting time to receive clinical service, time saved by using the new bridge, and many others. Access. Availability, convenience, practicality, affordability of the service. It can be limited by terrain, weather, location, public transport, security, culture, illness, gender, reading and writing literacy, language, computer access and/or literacy, etc. Examples of access indicators are: number of applicants on the waiting list, percent of the community that can read and comprehend our service literature, number of access points, point of service locations, percent of households where service is available, and many others. Unit cost, price. Financial cost to deliver one unit, number of inputs units per input, resource hours to deliver one unit, combination of price and usage of the input unit. Used to monitor efficiency. Examples of unit cost, price indicators are: cost per patient bed per night, number of vaccinations per one nurse day, number of resource hours to process one building permit, cost per bus kilometer, and many others. Customer satisfaction. Satisfied with expectations, do not complain, return for repeat services. Customer satisfaction is also reflected when they pay for their services and refer or recommend the service to others. They abide by the rules, bylaws, when receiving the service and are honest users of the service and not abuse it. Examples of customer satisfaction indicators are percent of customers that are satisfied, score 3 over 5, customer satisfaction index, Likert scale 5, number of customer complaints received, percentage of repeat customers, and many others. They have to be practical and measure only what is important, need to know, not nice to know. Limit the number of indicators to the minimum necessary to measure the respective results level and ensure their means of measuring is cost efficient. Critical attributes of well-defined indicators. SMART. Specific. Relate to the results the project seeks to achieve. Measurable. Stated in quantifiable terms. Achievable. Realistic in what is to be achieved. Relevant. Useful for management information purposes. And time-bound, stated with target dates. CREAM. Clear, precise, and unambiguous. Relevant, appropriate, and timely. Economic, available at reasonable cost. Adequate, sufficient to assess performance. And monitorable, can be independently verified. Preferred indicators are those for which data are collected by government agencies, private institutions, or NGOs, or can be obtained from other in-country sources. Using these indicators is practical, cost-efficient, and consistent. Comparability may also be a factor in making a choice of indicator. Considerable attention is being paid to this because comparisons can help in setting targets and stimulate behavior to strive for better results than those in other countries. Procedures. Taking an outcome statement. The education system in the southeastern province provides higher quality and equitable education. The indicator formulation process is described. Step 1. Determine the basic indicator. What is to be measured? For example, more and better educated students graduate. Step 2. Decide on the quantity. How much? Increase, decrease. For example, the number of graduates increased from 10,000 to 25,000. Step 3. Describe the quality. What kind of change? For example, the number of graduates, 55% female and 45% male, passing national standard examination from lower income families, $5,000 per annum, in the southeastern province increased from 10,000 to 25,000. Step 4. Add the time frame. By when? Check for baseline data, especially for outcome and impact level indicators. Ensure that baseline and target is gender disaggregated. For example, the number of graduates, 55% female and 45% male, passing national standard examination from lower income families, $5,000 per annum, in the southeastern province increased from 10,000 to 25,000 per annum by project completion date. Application. In practice, there are 3 types of indicators. Lagging indicator. Most commonly used, reports history, situation after implementation, hence does not provide possibility for corrective action. For example, decreased mortality by X%. Leading indicator. Reflects progress being made towards the respective results, hence provides opportunity for corrective action. For example, number of cholera cases reported. Also called process indicators, they are intermediate performance targets to monitor progress, that is, measure increased higher education attainment by % reduction of dropout rate per annum or increased enrollment rate per annum. Proxy indicator, used when the result cannot be easily verified, the cost of measuring the result is too high, and the result is achieved after an extended time lag. Measuring the increases in rural income, for example, would require a household income and expenditure survey. Proxy indicators may be used instead, such as number of tin roofs or number of bicycles. Another example could be monitoring greater consumption of fertilizer as an early signal for greater agricultural productivity. Proxy indicators may be less precise, but can be effective in discerning trends. Lagging measures confirm what has already happened. Leading measures warn of impending situations. Leading measures are more effective for project management and control as they provide time to manage problems. Example: health sector. Lagging: aggregate annual morbidity and mortality statistics. Leading: number of dengue cases reported in an area, indicate potential public health problem. Unemployment. Lagging: annual unemployment statistics. Leading: number of job advertisements in newspapers, indicate vacancies and potential need. Issues: indicators selected are not appropriate. Lagging: too late to take remedial action, focus on less important project elements. Poorly defined, too vague for calculation and monitoring. Too many, a matter of, if in doubt, throw in everything. Indicators selected are relevant, but no data available to construct them. Data available, but slow and unreliable. Indicators are not produced by the government's own information system. No tie-in between indicator and accountability. Remember that indicators may be revised as more information is uncovered. Need periodic assessments by stakeholders to monitor the progress of the change and be convinced. Help clarify the design summary and, if necessary, lead to revise the design summary statements. Describe the results in the first column of the DMF. They do not cause them. Temper optimism with realism. Application. A completed DMF application for a vocational school project is attached. You can download and print the application for your perusal. Focus on the second column. Note how each of the indicator statements have been stated. We have also included 2 handouts that you can use as guides in formulating indicators. You can download them under Handouts. Let us continue. The next step is to consider the data sources.